Once, in a lush forest teeming with life, lived a cunning jackal named Chatura. Chatura wasn't content with the usual scraps and leavings of the forest floor. He yearned for something more, not just a full belly, but power, respect, a life of ease. He observed the majestic lion, Raja, lord of the jungle, and his desire burned like a wildfire. Why should I scrounge, he'd muse, twitching his whiskers, when I could feast like a king? Now, Raja was a powerful lion, but also terribly trusting, a trait that often proved his undoing. He surrounded himself with a council of animals, the wise old elephant, Gaja, the cautious bear, Balu, and the quick-witted monkey, Vanara. But Chatura, with his honeyed words and fawning obedience, had ingratiated himself into Raja's inner circle. He feigned loyalty, his tail wagging with a fervor that belied his true intentions. One day, a great famine struck the forest. The rivers dried up, the leaves withered, and even the fiercest predators struggled to find food. Raja, burdened with the responsibility of his kingdom, grew increasingly worried. He called his council together. "My friends," he roared, his voice echoing with concern. "The forest suffers. We must find a solution, lest our kingdom perish." Gaja, with his ancient wisdom, suggested traveling to the Whispering Mountains, where, legend said, a hidden valley thrived even in the harshest droughts. Balu, ever cautious, proposed sending a scouting party first to assess the risks. Vanara, nimble and clever, offered to lead the scouts. Chatura, however, stepped forward, his eyes gleaming with what appeared to be selfless devotion. "Great Raja," he said, bowing low, "I have a better plan. Sending a party is risky and slow. I, Chatura, will undertake this journey alone. I am small and unnoticed. I can travel swiftly and return with news sooner." Raja, touched by Chatura's apparent bravery and eagerness, readily agreed. Gaja, Balu, and even Vanara looked at each other, their hearts filled with unease, but said nothing. They had come to trust Raja's judgment, even when it seemed questionable. So, Chatura set off, not towards the Whispering Mountains, but into the heart of the forbidden Shadowlands. He knew of a legend, a tale whispered among the most ancient trees, of a powerful artifact, a stone said to grant its possessor dominion over all creatures of the forest. The stone was called the Shapeshifter's Gem. Chatura's desire was no longer just to feast like a king. He wanted to be the king. He navigated through treacherous swamps and climbed jagged cliffs, driven by his burning ambition. Finally, after many days, he reached the ancient ruins where the gem was said to be hidden. It was a crumbling temple, shrouded in an eerie silence. Inside, he found the Shapeshifter's Gem, resting on a pedestal. It pulsed with a dark, mesmerizing light. As he reached for it, a voice echoed through the ruins, deep and chilling. "You seek power, little jackal," the voice rumbled, "but power comes at a price." Chatura, startled but not deterred, grasped the gem. He felt a strange tingling surge through his body, a dizzying sense of power. He looked at his paw and saw it ripple and change, taking the form of a fierce tiger's claw. He had the power to shapeshift. Chatura, filled with a wicked glee, returned to the forest. He didn't go to Raja immediately. Instead, he spent days observing, studying, learning to control his new abilities. He transformed into various animals, testing his limits, sharpening his skills of deception. He became a hawk, soaring high above the trees, gathering information. He became a serpent, slithering through the undergrowth, eavesdropping on conversations. Finally, feeling confident, Chatura returned to Raja, now transformed into a magnificent lion. Bigger and fiercer than Raja himself, he strutted into the royal court, his mane bristling, his roars echoing like thunder. Raja, Gaja, Balu, and Vanara were stunned into silence. Who was this imposing creature? I am Raja's rightful heir, come to claim my throne, Chatura roared, his voice laced with arrogance. Raja was bewildered. What nonsense is this? I have no heir. Chatura, with a dramatic gesture, pointed towards Raja. You are old and weak. You cannot protect the kingdom. I, on the other hand, am strong and fearless. The forest needs a new leader, and that leader is me. He challenged Raja to a duel. Gaja and Balu urged Raja not to accept. They were deeply suspicious. Something about this newcomer felt wrong, unnatural. But Raja, ever trusting, accepted the challenge. He could not let his kingdom think he was weak or cowardly. The duel was a spectacle of raw power. Chatura, fueled by the shapeshifter's gem, fought with ferocity, mimicking the moves of different animals. The speed of a cheetah, the strength of a bear, the venom of a viper. Raja, despite his age, fought with all his might, but he was outmatched. As Raja fell, defeated and bleeding, the entire forest fell silent. Chatura let out a victorious roar and declared himself the new ruler of the forest. But there was one among the court who was not fooled. Vanera, the quick-witted monkey, had been observing Chatura closely. He noticed the unnatural way his form shifted, the subtle flickering in his eyes. He remembered the legends of the shapeshifter's gem and its deceptive magic. Vanara, with a heavy heart, approached Raja. He confessed his suspicions. Raja, though wounded and defeated, was ready to listen. Vanara's plan was audacious. He proposed a game, a test of true power, not a display of fleeting magic. They would challenge Chatura to a riddle-solving contest, a tradition among the wise of the forest. They gathered the whole kingdom for the contest. Chatura, now arrogant and overconfident, agreed, eager to demonstrate his perceived intellectual superiority. Vanara stepped forward and posed the first riddle. I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, and water but no fish. What am I? Chatura, relying on the gem's power to enhance his physical prowess, was stumped. He shifted through various forms trying to find a solution, but the answer eluded him. He roared in frustration. Raja, though weakened, saw the flicker of panic in Chatura's eyes. Vanara, watching closely, then revealed the answer. A map. The second riddle was even more cunning. What is always coming but never arrives? Always present but never there. Chatura, growing more frantic, shifted form repeatedly, his control wavering. His arrogance began to crumble. Vanara, knowing he had him on the edge, gave the answer, tomorrow. Finally, Vanara posed the final riddle, his voice sharp and clear. I can be given, but I can't be taken. I can be broken, but I cannot be held. What am I? Chatura, now completely bewildered, let out a frustrated roar, his form flickering uncontrollably. He could not grasp the concept, his magic unable to comprehend something so profound and intangible. The gem was failing him, and the answer came, not from Vanara but from Raja. His voice, though weak, was laced with newfound authority. A promise. As Raja uttered those words, the shapeshifter's gem, unable to bear the weight of true wisdom, lost its power. Chatura's form flickered and twisted, returning to its original jackal shape, weak and trembling. The illusion was shattered. The forest saw him for who he was, a small, deceitful jackal who had tried to steal what was not his. The animals, having witnessed the true nature of Chatura's deception, turned on him, driving him out of the forest forever. Raja, though wounded, was praised for his wisdom and courage. He learned a valuable lesson that day, that true strength lies not in brute force, but in wisdom, courage, and the ability to see through deception. And the forest, after a period of turmoil, returned to its natural balance, guided by the leadership of the wise and the vigilant. And so, dear listener, The tale of Chatura serves as a reminder that ambition without integrity and power gained through trickery will always crumble in the face of truth. It is a lesson etched in the very heart of the forest, and a lesson that we would all do well to remember. For the greatest power resides not in the ability to shapeshift, but in the unwavering strength of character and the pursuit of true wisdom. Now, sleep well, knowing that the forest still holds its secrets, and perhaps a new story is waiting to be born.